It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag Utah Jazz.
Collier has it. Waits for Lowry at 6. Drives hard with the left hand. Kicks to the corner. Flips wide open. Three ball, no. Rebound tipped around. Markin and follow. No. Bailey follow. Yes. Ace Bailey at the horn. Kyler rotates to Collier. Bursts through the 45 to the window. Layup good. Isaiah Collier. Isaiah Collier's plus 18 tonight.
And he is so fast.
Keontae George driving into the body of Shepard. Tough look. Step back. Falling back off the chest-to-chest contact and makes it 133-112. Jazz in complete control up 21 with 6:30 to play in the fourth. Inbound to Lowry. Catch and shoot three. Left side's good. Monster night for Lowry Markkinen.
Yeah, one heck of a third quarter. Now starts off the fourth quarter with a three.
And Lowry's got 35.
You love competition, PK. Was that too little competition for you as the Jazz ran away and hid there?
No.
Buried the Pacers.
Because I'm not worried about the Jazz versus the Pacers.
You're worried about young guys developing.
Yeah. And so, the Pacers aren't the Pacers this year, obviously. And we'll have more to say on it. I got a lot to say. I was thinking about it all night, and I am looking forward to getting to tomorrow to be able to talk about what's on my mind regarding a kid like Ace Bailey. So, obviously, we'll get to it, and I'm ready to go.
Ace Bailey, 20 points. That was a nice game he had before that where he had the 7 boards and 4 offensive rebounds, and we're seeing different things he can do out there. I mean, it's not like we didn't suspect, right? But it's still good to see it happen on an NBA floor.
There's no question.
Even if it's super low-end NBA players.
But they're NBA players.
But they are NBA
not
players.
G League players.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I want to say stuff about that.
Okay, we will get into that coming up. DJ and PK, the Utah Jazz with the W there. 4th of the year. They get tonight off, and then they host the Atlanta Hawks. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NBA.
Towns short on a 3. Offensive rebound. Bridges out to Brunson for 3. That is a big sequence right there, putting the Knicks back up by 13 points. Memphis calls timeout.
Towns feeds inside to Jay Will, rumbling to the rim, lays it up. Counts if it goes, and he barrels inside for the and one with the right-hand reverse. Outstanding setup by Gilgeous Alexander on the dive cutting, rolling Jay Will for an and one.
Oklahoma City wins again. They are off to an 11-1 start. They soundly thrashed the Golden State Warriors 126-102. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 28 points and 11 assists. Boring in their efficiency. Rock solid. Another 20-point win. No big deal. We're the Thunder, and we're tearing up the league.
Yeah, they haven't had a full lineup yet together at all. I mean, now they got Williams and Dort out.
And they win by 24.
Yeah.
At home over a 500 team. If there's a threat to them, decent chance it's in Denver. Nuggets beat the Kings 122-108. The Joker didn't get the triple-double, just 35 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists as he continues to power the Denver Nuggets. They're off to an 8-2 start of their own.
I mean, there's rarely surprise teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, you look
because even if Oklahoma City San Antonio takes a big step forward, that's hardly a surprise. They've had a bunch of top picks, Wembanyama.
And then what are they going to do in the postseason? So you look at baseball. Toronto sucked last year, and they literally came within 1 inch, literally, of winning the World Series. So we already know who the contenders are. We have to slog through the regular season to get there, and to see how the playoffs play out in the middle of April when they start.
The most surprising team in the East, would you go with the Pistons off to a 9-2 start?
Well, yeah, but see,
I mean, everybody behind them until
what's
you
their
get to
schedule to this point?
Yeah.
I'm not going to break down the Pistons' schedule.
And in the West, the biggest surprise is that the Lakers are 8-3, or down to the Suns at 6-5. Nothing else is a surprise. Everything else is.
It's too early to be a surprise. Let's get to Christmas.
Nico Harrison got fired during our show yesterday. The owner, Patrick Vaughn, has written an open letter to Mavs fans taking responsibility. There's a photo of him sitting next to a young fan apologizing one-on-one, saying the franchise would work to rebuild trust with the fan base.
Well, if it was a closed letter, then no one would know about it.
There it is. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college basketball.
Here's Cameron Boozer going to work at the free throw line. Knocked loose, got it back. Out for Sarr again. Oh, he's feeling it. Dame Sarr has 13, and the lead is 14, 26-12.
Thinks about shooting. Brown now drives it. Brown's runner draws contact and scores.
Boy, was that enormous. What a shot.
His first field goal of the second half, and he can make it a three-point play.
There are highlights from a night of college basketball. Couple of marquee matchups. Louisville beats Kentucky. Well, else we had highlights from not a marquee matchup. Duke thrashing Army.
Hey, it was the Coach K Classic.
It was the Coach
West
K
Point.
Classic, yes. He started his career at Army, and then he went to Duke. And so Duke won 114-59. Watch a couple hoops and then go find something else. BYU was down 17-4, got within 3 at the half, and then the last 12 minutes really blew it open and pulled away and beat winless Delaware.
I was ready to fire Kevin Young on the spot. This is ridiculous. You're paying that kind of money, and you're down to the fighting Blue Hens. I realize they're fighting.
They're still Blue Hens. How much can they really fight?
Hey, as I look at BYU, obviously they were going to win that game. Flicking back and forth between the Jazz game, and Jazz got a little non-competitive, so focused a little bit more on BYU as their comeback was happening. They were without Davis, so they moved Baker into the starting lineup. And he only get 4 points off the bench.
Yep.
And that's not good enough. So they've got to develop a bench there. Time is right now. I don't think the Davis thing is anything more than precautionary. So Baker can move and come back off the bench. But you need at least 3 guys who can count on, and who are they going to be off the bench there? And I don't think, with apologies to Terry Nashif, Matt Montague, Kevin Woodbury, Luis Lemus, I don't think they've had a point guard like Robert Wright ever in my time here.
I'm glad that you apologized to all those point guards. So.
Yeah, I mean, I love them dearly. I even throw my great friend Austin Ainge in there. But, he was the size of a point guard, but he had the old man's mentality, FGAs. He grew up with that. But Wright can get to where he wants to be on the floor. And I liked this game in terms of, I thought that being on off the floor, basically, behind the basket against Villanova last week, and when it got crunch time and they got behind, he's like, okay, I'm going to get in more. And he did. But it seemed like the attitude was just go to the basket at all times. And against the Big 12 competition, when they got NBA-sized players, and he's a smaller kid, obviously, that might be a little more difficult. And so I asked him on Saturday, and he seems like a very intelligent young man, how long is it going to take for you? Because you can break down anybody, basically, get to where you want to go, but you got to know where your teammates are. And he acknowledged, it's a work in progress. Guys have come together here, so in such a short order that he's got to know where Saunders wants the ball. He's got to know where Baker wants the ball, and obviously where AJ is at all times, right? And that's not something you just flip a switch and do it immediately. It's a process. And so where I'm going with this, it wasn't a very good team, and he still had his 26, but the 9 assists and 2 turnovers, I wanted to drive down to Provo and hug him. Because I think that's the key for him, because he can get where he wants to be out on the floor, but when you get in the middle there, in that paint, as they call it, don't necessarily mean you have to shoot. And I felt like in Villanova, watching him play 10 feet in front of me, that he had to shoot at all costs at that point. But it's a process, right? And Saunders was not feeling well that night, and last night he was feeling great, and he showed it. And get him the ball. If he's wide open on the wing, he's your best shooter.
As they broke the game open in the middle of the second half, it was Wright finding Saunders for 3, and it was Saunders finding Wright for 3. So that chemistry you're talking, which can only be built through reps.
Right.
Where does the guy want to catch it? When is he in rhythm? When is he not? What's his spot? Even if I'm not exactly sure where he is, out of the corner of my eye, when I just see the right color, I'm going to know it's him because he's going to be in that corner.
Well, plus he'll be white, so he'll stand out.
If you have enough vision to see that, yes.
No, white stands out at all times on the basketball floor. Let's just call it like it is.
Like it is. Saunders back-to-back threes and Wright's three. That was a quick 9-2 run that broke the game open.
And AJ is just so freaking long, man. He's like, he's got legs and arms. Like, I mean, those giraffes don't have arms, but he plays so big.
Yep.
Because he is so long. He is always fun to watch.
Your point about the bench, 0 for 7 from 3, 1 for 11 from the floor. Only one guy scored off the bench. Yeah. So they gotta figure out. You don't need a lot. You need a little something. I mean, most of the minutes are going to the guys you think they'd go to. Most of the shots are going to the guys and that's all good, and that's the way it ought to be. But there needs to be a little something.
Yeah.
So
especially if somebody has foul trouble, turns an ankle.
Yep.
Any number of things.
UConn coming up Saturday. That's next. The big top 10 showdown. DJ and PK.
#NFL.
I know when you got here, you said you're not coming here to leave, but as soon as the Giants job came open yesterday, your name got thrown out there. I'm sure it will with other NFL jobs. What is your message to players, to recruits? I'm sure people are asking me about that who want to come to the program.
Yeah, getting ready for Wake Forest. That's all I got this week.
Has anyone asked you, or do players or recruits want to know about your future?
I mean, I've been asked about it from time to time, but I've been down this road before. I'm focused on Wake Forest. That's it. And that's my commitment to this team. And next week it'll be to our next opponent and so forth. But, I'm here to do the best I can for this team.
On to Cincinnati. There's Bill Belichick. His name has been thrown out there with the Giants. They actually have a chance to get bowl eligible after a terrible start. Sitting on 4 wins right now. Can they win 2 of their last 3? Pittsburgh Steelers coach Mike Tomlin said he doesn't harbor long-term concerns about starting quarterback Aaron Rodgers' play. Wasn't the best game for Aaron Rodgers against the Chargers in L.A.
He's 41. He doesn't have a long-term
He doesn't have
anyway.
Yeah, I know, right? The long-term is about 2 months. Philadelphia Eagles corner Jair Alexander has decided to step away from football to focus on getting right physically and mentally as part of his ongoing recovery from off-season knee surgery. Philadelphia traded for him last week in exchange for a 6th-round pick in hopes he could bolster their defense. Jacksonville Jaguars cornerback and wide receiver Travis Hunter saw his season ended as he underwent surgery to repair an LCL injury in his right knee. He's expected to be fully cleared in 6 months to resume football activities. Aside from having the skill and then having the time to practice, the wear and tear of playing on both sides of the ball, PK. More chances to get hit, more cuts, more explosion. How much does he shorten his career, and how much do these injuries add up? Guess it's impossible to know, but playing the odds, it does seem like a roll of the dice.
Oh, yeah. I can't argue with that.
DJ and PK.
#college football.
BYU dropping 5 spots to number 12 in the college football playoff rankings after their blowout loss at Texas Tech. Tech is up to number 6. Utah idle sits at number 13. They don't move.
No, they probably shouldn't. And BYU, I think we talked about that yesterday, that it was going to be 12 and 13 if we had to bet. A couple of things stuck out to me was Texas Tech moving up. They shouldn't
jumped Ole Miss.
They're really good. There's just no doubt about it. They are really good. They have good wins, and they do not have a bad loss, and they've only got one of them. So they are a formidable team. And then Miami last week was if you went conference-wise, ranked 4th in the ACC, the 4th-ranked team in the ACC, I should say. And now they jumped ahead of everybody. So that changed quickly in the span of 1 week from the ACC perspective. That looks like they are only going to get one team. Still, lots to be done in just 3 weeks. But as it looks right now, they're the one team or the one conference that's going to a power conference that's going to be a one league bid. One
bid league for sure, with Miami at 15. Like yeah, Louisville losing and Virginia getting beat. They both dropped 5 spots, as did the Cougars.
Yeah.
Maryland coach Mike Loxley says he doesn't feel that he is coaching for his job. 5-game losing streak. Rumors the Terrapins could be looking to fire him and look for a new head coach. As the head coaching, the list of vacant head coaching jobs in college football is long and about to get longer. Will that include Maryland? DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
AL and NL Managers of the Year repeat. First time both Managers of the Year repeat as winners. Guardians and Brewers. Stephen Vaught and Pat Murphy. Are you surprised?
No.
Stephen Vogt with the Guardians.
Yeah.
Pat Murphy with the Brewers.
The Brewers continue to defy. They give guys away, and they continue to win. He's an old ASU coach from several years back. Crusty dude. Big-time Valley favorite because he will tell it like it is and use salty language. He is the Bruce Arians of the Phoenix area in terms of how the media loved him when he was there. And they continue to find ways to win. And Voigt did a great job there in Cleveland. And they had two pitchers that were taken away from them, obviously. We talked about it yesterday because of the gambling spiel. And they
still won the division.
I don't think there was anybody that I could really put in contention above those
Well, it's
guys.
usually these awards tend to go to best team or team that most outperforms expectations. So the Brewers are the best team at 97 wins. Best team in the regular season. It's
a lot of wins,
season
yeah.
award.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you thought anybody else outperformed expectations, really. Maybe
Not to that
Seattle.
level.
Maybe.
Not to that level, no.
Yeah. Philadelphia Phillies president Dave Dombrowski said he and star Bryce Harper had a meeting recently, did not expound on what the conversation entailed. Harper thought to be upset with Dombrowski and questioned if he would be an elite player again after a career-low 844 OPS this past season.
Yeah, I mean, that was a few weeks ago he said that, but I think that was intended to get Harper mad, and I'll show you type of thing, because
that's what
Harper
it takes.
carries grudges to the grave.
He does.
He plays angry.
He sits in the dugout angry.
Yeah.
Any cutaway, there's never... How often do you see joy on that guy's face?
And that's fine.
Very rarely.
If that's what makes your motor,
then that's the button that has to be pushed.
Yeah.
Right.
And I still... he'll be... Well, he just turned 33 last month. It's amazing. It seems like he was 12 years old when I was watching him play, which was the case. Now he's 33, but that's the way life is. And he still should have he signed a 13-year contract, so he's under contract for another several years. But they need him to be big time. They need him to be an MVP candidate in the manner that Schwarber was.
Yeah, he needs to be in that mix. The Pirates here is this quote essentially the vote of confidence for a manager? Pirates general manager Ben Cherington said the team would not trade away their ace Paul Skeens.
Well, not now.
Okay. He's got him under team control for a while.
Yeah.
But coming up later.
Right, it's the same thing with Skubal over there in Detroit.
Yeah.
He's coming up. So do you trade him now and get value? Because somebody's going to, if you just let him go as a free agent, we've already seen a couple of teams will throw in a country or two if you want.
Here come the Dodgers with more deferred money.
Yeah, so that Skeens is in that situation. But I think everybody, with the exception of very few, needs to be considered tradable if the offer is right.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag NHL.
Utah Mammoth back in action tonight. The Buffalo Sabres are in town. Puck drops at 7 o'clock at the Delta Center. Coverage on the KSL Sports Zone begins at 6 with Hockey Night in Utah. All right, the team has lost 3 in a row. PK, we've talked about streaks. Time to stop another streak. Last time we were talking about stopping a streak, they were playing the Sabres in Buffalo.
I thought so.
And they got the win, and that was after back-to-back losses. Don't let it get to 3 in a row. Now it's 3 in a row, and it's 5 of the last 6.
And you're home.
And you're home, so need to beat Buffalo.
And you've been on your feet for a little bit.
Yep.
Or off your feet.
Off your feet. What is Trending is brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. All right, coming up, college football with David Smoak. He's a host on 365 Sports in Waco, Texas. He always comes with a ton of energy and is wildly entertaining. We'll talk Utah-Baylor with him next. Carter Chow, NFLPA Certified Contract Advisor for Red Envelope Sports. We'll talk about the changes in sports, the professionalism of college football. We'll talk with him coming up at 9:30. It's also a Win Tickets Wednesday. And we'll be giving away tickets to the Holiday Lights at the ballpark at America First Square a little later in the show. David Smoak next. Utah and Baylor right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's game week for the Cougars, and the KSL Sports Zone is getting you ready for kickoff. Even after their first loss of the season, the Cougars' dream of a spot in the Big 12 title game is still alive and well as they welcome TCU to Provo on Saturday. Listen all week long for the best coverage of Cougar football. Then catch College Football Saturday game day at 10 a.m. with a postgame show immediately following the game on KSLSports.com. Your home for the best coverage of BYU football is live on air, online, and on the KSL Sports app. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. A reminder that you can nominate the youth sports volunteer that you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week. Submit your nomination at KSLSports.com/contest and listen every Thursday afternoon to JJ and Alex for the winner. Help us celebrate the efforts of those volunteers making an impact with the Hercules Hero of the Week, sponsored by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals. DJ PK, and we are joined now by David Smoak. David, welcome back to the show.
Well, hello. It's good morning. Good little intro music, great promos. I hope you guys are doing well. I know the Utes are turning the corner, so to speak, and trying to get themselves involved in all this, aren't they?
Yes.
They are. They are trying to run their way to Dallas. They are, and you know, you've covered college football for a long time. David's on 365 Sports in Waco, Texas. And, you know, if I ask you who the top rushing teams are in the country, you're going to go straight to the service academies. They're going to run run the option, and they're going to run the ball forever. And after you get to two of the service academies, the third team in the country running the ball is the Utes. There is no trickeration. There's a little deception maybe with are they handing it off in the fly sweep, or are they pulling the ball from the running back, but they just run it at you, run it at you, and run it at you. And so I think question number one as they get ready to go to Baylor is Baylor up for this? Because it looks like that run defense has had a few weeks where they really struggled, and there is zero surprise about what the Utes are going to do.
No, is Baylor ready for it? They're kind of schizophrenic at times, but at the same time, consistently the same. I know that makes no sense, but they have not stopped the run. I know they just had the off week, and before that, they beat UCF 30-3. Honestly, I don't care. They needed to win. They got to find a way to, make sure they get to a bowl game, which is where this program is. Last year they had to make the run from 2-4 to 8-4 to get to a bowl game, and so same thing. They fall behind. They take all this energy to get back in it. A couple of times they've been able to win, but most of the time they just can't have enough gas left. So no, I would expect, and Utah. I think I brought this up, so I'm sorry if I've repeated myself here, but I remember the first time Utah-Baylor played. Utah was, I still think, a non-conference game, and I had somebody explain to me that they thought watching Utah just play the game of football was like trying to play against a big ball of angry razor blades, and they've gotten back to that. Last year, of course, it was a mess for Kyle Whittingham, but no, I don't. Do I expect Baylor to be able to stop the run? No, I don't. They've struggled against whether it's a running quarterback with Jackson Arnold, who's not even playing now for Auburn, and they've also struggled with people just taking the ball and shoving it down their throat. So, and then that should set up obviously the play action for Utah. So I don't expect Baylor's defense to really have the ability to stop the run against it. They don't have enough oomph inside Baylor. They don't have enough bodies inside. So I do not think that unless Utah just has a bad day, that they should be able to pretty much do what they want with a run game.
If I'm just judging on pro style and pro style alone, I think Sawyer Robertson is as good as any quarterback in the conference and what he can do, his ability to drop back. If he's got the time, he's going to not only complete a high percentage, but he's going to spread the ball around. You just look at the receiving yard stats, and they've got 4 guys over 400-plus yards in receiving. A couple guys on the top have some pretty good stats. And it's been this way for a couple years. I never understood why they didn't start him at the beginning of last year. But nevertheless, I think the guy's really good as far as a passer. It boils down to whether he's got time. And Scally dials up these defenses. What he does is he'll make adjustments upon the offense's adjustments. And so he's a real master at calling plays after he sees what the offense has been doing at the line of scrimmage, which is sort of reverse the way it works. But that's how they do it, and they're very good. So the question for you being, how do you think they'll be able to do as far as being able to pick up blitzes and providing the time that Sawyer needs to throw?
It's a great question. And again, just like, can they stop the Utah run game or attack? I don't think they can. I don't know if they'll be able to keep Utah off of Sawyer Robertson. He kind of went through a little funk, and I don't. He was so good so early, even though they lost the game to Auburn, lost a heartbreaker to Arizona State. Sawyer Robertson has been good, but there was a stretch there where I think all of this, not that it was a amount of burden on him, but I said early on, they have to score 35 points a game to have a chance to win a game because they gave up so much on defense. And I know Sawyer Robertson, I asked him one time, guys, early in the year, it just seemed like he wasn't taking off 3 to 4 times a game, which when he does, he could get 8 to 10 or 12 or 15 and pick up a third down and, mid-distance or longer. And I had asked him whether or not he was told not to run. Did anybody on the coaching staff, because he's such value, hey, protect yourself? No, that wasn't it either. Then you wonder, okay, is it because he's trying to protect himself because of what might be in the future for him? That's not his style. I just think he's really good. And as you said, you defined him perfectly. But it's been kind of a treading water. He's put up some decent numbers, but he was leading the country in yards per game and all of that. And that's kind of slowed down a little bit. And I think it's obvious. Their run game is okay. They lost Dawson Pendergrass, who's like the grinder, the pounding guy, before the season started. Bryson Washington's really pretty good, 1,000-yard rusher last year, but he's been in and out. They got some young running backs that give him a little lift, but it all still falls on protecting Sawyer Robertson. And I'm not trying to I'm not a Baylor alum. I didn't go to Baylor. I cover them. In fact, our show now has become as much more overall Big 12 than anything else. But I don't think this team, barring Utah throwing up on themselves, has enough to make this a competitive game. If it is, it'll be a nice. First of all, Aranda needs to win. The program needs to win, but can they stop the run? I doubt it. Can they protect Sawyer Robertson from a defense that's playing at a really nice level? I think that's going to be a challenge. And all it takes with Baylor's offense and puts them on the backside is fall behind. And then if Sawyer gets pressured, throws a bad throw, a pick or whatever, and then next thing you know, you're down 14 or 17. That's been their MO. It has been. So this is a team in Utah that's hot. They kind of have their focus back. I'm not saying they didn't have it even a few weeks ago, despite a couple of losses. I just think this is Utah on a train headed downhill in a good way, and Baylor is scratching, and clawing to try to stay above water.
It seems like they really do have to pressure the quarterback because it seems like matching up with all these wide receivers is difficult.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you love 2, 3, or 4 of them, but it's a big no. But actually, tight end Michael Trigg, who's on his 3rd school, appears to be the most dangerous of them all, which is saying something.
Yeah, no, Michael Trigg has a really, really good chance of being drafted and playing on Sunday. He's that good. He made some catches against the UCF that were just phenomenal. He's got the body. He's got the size. His thing is just keep maturing, Michael. Just keep, every day, get up, smile, go to work. You have a chance to play on Sundays. He is a fantastic tight end. But he's also more than he's kind of got that hybrid. You know, the tight ends that go down the seams. He makes catches in crazy ways. His body can twist and turn. He's a great tight end. I don't use that word very often, but as a college football player, he's among the best. Mackey Award, all that stuff that he's been a part of the watch list. The other receivers, they have a bunch of them, and they've all done something here at times, whether it's Hawkins or whether it's Wilson or whoever it might be. Cameron. I don't know if they've thrown the ball and gotten Josh Cameron enough involved. He's a big body. He's a possession receiver. He's a hell of a punt returner, too. So when he catches the ball in the perimeter, he has a chance to make somebody miss because he's used to doing that as a punt returner. I don't think they've gotten him nearly involved as they need to, and it could be because of what the defense is doing. They have weapons. I don't think the running game, they're averaging about what they did, but I don't think it's been as dynamic. And I think that's, again, because they've gone to a younger group, although Bryson Washington is the guy. And the offense has not been the problem. However, it was when they've lost. They're not the reason Baylor's at 5-4. They're probably the reason Baylor's at least 5-4 because of what they can bring to the table. But there have been a couple of games when it's been hit and miss. And now you've got this team in Utah that does all the things, as you guys said, that they do. So I'm intrigued. It's a 6 o'clock kick here. I'm intrigued. You know, they've had a lot of that 11 o'clock games, which a lot of times when you're not very good, you get stuck at 11 o'clock. And sometimes you're on ESPN Plus. But I think this is going to be – here's one of the other things. The Baylor fan base is disconnected right now. They're frustrated. Last year, it was a nice finish to the year, even though they lost the bowl game to LSU. They're very disconnected between the athletic department, Aranda, the football team. This is a fan base that's very wishy-washy, and I don't even know. I would hope, for God's sakes, just as a Division I football school, that you have a nice crowd at the game on Saturday night. But guys, I'm promising you this: I don't know that. I got away from worrying about, hey, where is there? That doesn't affect me at all. I'm in the press box, but I don't know. I think Utah might give them a chance to get the juices flowing a little bit when it comes to the fan base. But I'm not sure they'll have 30,000 people there, and that's not because it's Utah. It's just because of the disconnect with the fan base. Everybody's bitching and moaning, excuse my language. Everybody's mad. They don't seem to be on the same page. Is it a blackout? Is it a whiteout? Is it what? Are they going to stripe it? They fight over things that are ridiculous rather than going to the game, getting loud, and getting focused on trying to help your football team win a game.
Since you speak of doing a Big 12-centric show, I'm going to ask you a Big 12 question, and we've seen Texas Tech take off, and a lot of it, you got to acknowledge, it's been the money. And so you could say, well, you know, they bought the best defense that they can get, blah, blah, blah. And you can go either way you want to go on this. But to me, if I wanted to pose it as a line of, okay, here's the standard financially, Big 12. It's not like Lubbock is a glamour spot or anything, but nevertheless, they got Cody Campbell. They went all in. They bought these guys, a lot of them this year, on just a one-year deal, and their defense is awesome, and they're probably going to win the conference and get in the playoff, and we'll see what they do. So with that in mind, has the standard been set now to where everybody in the conference, this is what it's going to take financially. And so the coaches can say, hey, if we don't do what they did, we're not going to get the results that they got. So in a sense, you could view it as a positive in terms of this is a standard. Are we willing to get in the ball game and play at that level or not?
I agree. And one of the things, you know, there's other teams that have spent a bucket load of money on their roster, but they're 4-4, 4-6, 5-4 right now. We have a ton of Texas Tech fans that watch our podcast, our afternoon podcast every day, and really early on they got kind of overly sensitive. I thought, they're excited about. Well, you know, you bought your roster, okay. Well, that might have been going on in the SEC for 50 years. We don't know.
Of course.
But I tell you what. You can get the players in. You mentioned, why didn't Sawyer Robertson play right away last year. Well, that's because DeQuan Finn got a bunch of money to come in from Toledo, but that didn't work out. I mean, that didn't work out. You could tell pretty quickly. So you can get all the players, and you can get some guys that are fantastic, but you got to get the right guys, and you got to get the chemistry, and you got to get guys that are there. Yes, okay, no question, they're going to go to Tech or wherever because of the money. But they seem to have a great, and I know this word gets overused, especially if you're good or bad. They got a great culture. Everyone is there for a reason. Yes, they're getting paid. So is everybody else. But they didn't just go get 8 or 9 guys and overpay them. They got 8 or 9 guys that fit specific needs, and also all seem to be on the same page. Texas A&M, remember Jimbo Fisher had all those number 1 top-rated recruiting classes. Bunch of money back when NIL was starting to kick in. That team never amounted to anything. In fact, it blew up, and he's no longer there. So I think what Tech has done, I don't know if that's sustainable, but they have more than Cody Campbell. They've got like 5 or 6 billionaires that have kind of gone all in, along with whatever they do with their alumni base or whatever else. When you win, people spend money. When you win, people want to spend more money. And right now, they're in a really good place. I always thought that the Big 12, when Oklahoma and Texas left, even though Texas was hit and miss for a decade, I always thought that this opens the door. Who's going to step in and stay there? Not TCU 1 year, Baylor 1 year, whoever 1 year. Who's going to go in and open the door and stay there and become a resident of this is where we're at the top? Not just because there's a bunch of pretty good teams, but who's going to take it to the next level? There's no question. Utah, with what they did in the Pac-12, yes, last year was a disaster, but at least like they have signs that they're kind of back to who they want to be personality-wise. BYU, hey, no question what they're doing at BYU. I thought it would be Kansas State, Iowa State, maybe TCU, Baylor, when it's Texas Tech and a couple of others. And I think Texas Tech is here to stay. I don't think this is a one-off. I don't think this is TCU in 2022 or whatever that was. Baylor in 2021. I think they're here to stay. I think they have the formula. They have the backing. And now, especially since it's working, my goodness, they got people who are probably wondering if they could. They have people who probably wonder if they're going to be able to pay their rent, who would put $100 or $500 or $1,000 to something, right? Because they're excited. 1996, the Big 12 started. Texas Tech has never won the Big 12 title. They've never played for the Big 12 title. You talk about thirsty. That's exactly. They're sick and tired of hearing about that, and that's why they have all this momentum. And yes, the guys who got involved with the money and the facilities and all that helped as well, but they also seem to be having the right players too.
David, we're a little over time here, but we got to sneak in one question. But I'll need a shorter answer on this. Houston's 8-2. They've got 2 Texas teams left, TCU and Baylor. Are they going to finish this 10-2 and end up possibly in a big tie for that second berth in the Big 12 title game? And do you think they can sustain this, or are they a one-off team?
I think Willie Fritz is a great football coach. He's built winners everywhere he's been. Do they finish 10-2? They have that bad loss to West Virginia, so that's in their pocket. And so I would think maybe they split the next 2. I don't know who they'll beat or not. But I think what they've done has been one of the fun stories along with Cincinnati in the Big 12. I think Willie Fritz wins, period. And I think Houston is a sleeping giant. And I'm not like Arizona State or whoever, but I do think that they are. I think this is going to be something where you'll see Willie Fritz win consistently.
David, we appreciate it. As always, thanks for bringing all the knowledge and all the energy.
Hey, guys, you guys are the best, man. Appreciate you, and I appreciate when I listen to your show, you guys do a great job, too.
David Smoak, he's the host on 365 Sports in Waco, Texas. Interesting, but not surprising when you think about it, that has gone from what you would think is a Baylor show. I mean, he's right in Waco, and the school's right there, to... And they love football in Texas, and there's 4 Big 12 teams, and it's not that far to Houston, right? It's not that far to TCU. Okay, well, it is a little ways to Texas Tech. And with podcasts now.
300 miles.
Yeah, but with podcasts now, everybody's everywhere. Yeah. So I get how he's turning into more of a Big 12 football
Johnny Cash
show.
was a forerunner. You've been everywhere, man.
Johnny Cash, David Smoak.
Yeah.
Link them together. All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
You've been listening to The Zone for decades. Yes! But now you can watch the guys break down your favorite teams.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Catch the video stream of DJ and PK, Jake and Ben, Hanson, Scotty, and JJ and Alex right now at KSLSports.com or by searching KSL Sports on YouTube. Utah's best sports radio is on air, online, and on the KSL Sports app. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, the artist of the day, Kenny Chesney. Brought to you by Live Nation for all the live concerts and events in 2025. Check out livenation.com. Thought you were going to sing there, but Yock took the music away.
The boys of fall. Yeah, I've seen him about 15 times. I was talking to a coach here in town, and he says, yeah, I was at a Super Bowl party one year, and you know that guy who sings that Boys of Fall song is about playing high school football. He played high school football and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I was talking to him. He seems like an okay guy. What's his name? Kenny Chesney? Yeah.
I was talking to him.
Oh, you talked to him.
Guy.
Yeah, he sings that one song, you know, The Boys of Fall. Shut up.
Well, you got to give him credit. He didn't name drop. What's his name?
Yeah.
It's technically not name dropping.
The inspiration was, I'm not going to lie, I'm a November 1st Christmas music guy, and I heard Kenny yesterday. I'm like, you know what? We're going to go with Kenny tomorrow.
And, so we don't run in the same circles, although sometimes we do.
Well, that seems like a song. Get Kenny to sing that. You got something there. We don't run in the same circles, although sometimes we do.
Our lives interact together, but my life doesn't interact to the level that his does with a lot of different folk. That's the way it goes.
Listen to David Smoak on the future of the Big 12. Does it feel like it's splitting into an upper and lower division, or is that just it's a snapshot because we haven't seen this league together very long?
Well, I think that Texas Tech has set the standard.
Right.
And if you want to compete, this is what it's going to be. I mean, I know it's what they're talking about in Tempe. And so I've had conversation. That's why I got the idea. So you can bleep and moan about it all you want, as he said, or you can just say, this is what it's going to take. And don't be firing coaches if they go 5-4 and 6-3 in the league and think, well, they didn't do a good enough job. Well, they might have done a great job with what they have available.
Right, exactly. They might have coached their guys up very well.
Yeah.
But their guys are all 2 inches shorter and 0.2 of a second slower.
Yeah. And so Campbell has set the standard. And are you going to compete at that level? And it's the BYU thing. You don't have to be the highest bidder, and they love to tell you that they're not the highest bidder. And as he said, Texas Tech fans are getting sensitive about it. It's like every politician wants to tell you he was born in the barrio and had to work his way or her way through. And it's not true. A lot of you were born in affluence. Well, good for you. And Texas Tech right now has affluence. So good for them. And BYU right now has affluence. Good for them. You want to be able to compete, the rest of you, this is what you're going to have to do.
I also liked what he said about their other schools spending the money, and they haven't gotten the results. Texas Tech spent it the right way and coached up the right guys, but all these firings we're seeing around the Power Four, we're seeing a lot of programs that even if you don't know the budget, LSU spent money, Florida spent money, Penn State spent money, and jobs are open for a reason.
Yeah,
I don't know that UCLA spent money. They just made a mistake and
Penn
hired
State,
a guy
they failed. They didn't win it all. Now the season has gotten away from them this year. I understand that.
But they lost 3 in a row, and they're super impatient because of the checks they're writing. And we'll see whether making that move is the right decision or if they plunge themselves into some Nebraska-like tailspin that they struggle to get out of.
Money doesn't buy happiness. I get it.
But you got to be in the ballpark.
You got to have the money to have happiness.
If you're not in the ballpark, you're not going to be in the hunt for the best players.
So if Utah and ASU and Iowa State, if you want to be at that level, pony up, boys. And then it's on the coaches to do what they're supposed to do.
DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. The question of the day is coming up. Mammoth tickets are coming up. We're giving away Mammoth tickets, too. Look at all this just craziness. Stick around. It's next right here on The Zone.